All right, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob at Smirking Gun Reviews, and it's time for more Man in the High Castle. I've been taking a little break on making a lot of videos this week just because I kind of burned myself out. But we're back with episode 8. It is called Kasumi Through the Mists. So full spoilers if you haven't seen the episode. And this is a good one. This has got a lot going on. Despite our main heroes being pretty much useless as usual, not really doing anything, moving like inchworms through the story. Not their fault, it's the writers, right? So everything here is just really, again, amazing story progress for the villains, or mostly the villains. Jason O'Mara, though, I just give him like a shout out right now. He at least is injecting some new blood into the show that it needs. If they could just give him something more to do, he is the true kind of like, you can see a real good character, heroic character coming out of this if they just write some stuff for him. Because like in this, you know, he gets the papers for Juliana from the guy he doesn't trust, realizes the guy is, you know, screwing him over and blows his Nazi ass away. Then kills another Nazi and runs and still shows up to help Juliana out and carry on. And when people call him out, he's just kind of like, you know, I'm doing this because it's time. He's standing up. And, you know, instead of like Frank, who's drawing pictures, and him and Ed are going to go, I imagine, draw more pictures, bigger ones in Denver. Symbolism to get people talking. Yeah, I guess that's something that works, but again, it's so boring. For our this is our heroes, people. They're making graffiti. Juliana, you know, it's just kind of still just being Juliana. Hi, I'm Juliana. I'm the person with the films and I know the information. Also, again, it's almost like this show is from an alternate world, because I don't know how much more destroying America I can take. It's because if you're like a Nazi, okay, if this was an alternate world where the Nazis did win and we're living in it right now, this would be the perfect propaganda show for pro-Nazism. And you'd be digging everything that happens, because it is still just like there's no end of the human misery. Now they melt down the Liberty Bell, and they melt it down and turn it into the Nazi symbol. And Himmler's all like, fantastic, aces, guys. So just another kick in the fucking face for America, and it's just more and more just down note for us. Just keep piling it on and piling it on and piling it on. Till it's like, seriously, there's like, they keep talking about how they're going to stop these things. And it's just like, okay, how? Like the people in the town, when they see the film, it's like, yeah, that's great, but this is the best reality we have right now. This is it. This is what we got. There can be all sorts of worlds, but we're not living in it. And, you know, they should at least go, they've got a point. What's the real end game here? Because, look, they're so entrenched. Okay, they've already got the rest of the world, okay? And we're in America. We have to not just beat them here. We'd have to beat them everywhere. And so it's not surprising that the whole room cleared out. Now, this scene with the film does have one incredibly bright spot, at least for a nerd like me. And that is that the doctor, his name is Dr. Eric something. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his name. There's so many names in this that are hard to pronounce. But the doctor who explains the blueprints to Juliana and Frank is played by actor Bill Dow. Now, if you don't know who Bill Dow is, I'm about to lay some little bit of stupid nerd knowledge on you. And that he is from, again, another one of my X-Files references, but this one's special to me, okay, because Bill Dow played Chuck Burke on the X-Files. Chuck Burke was this guy that would show up occasionally on the show to give some really cool tech advice and tech knowledge and things that are, kind of hypothetical that were going on back then in the 90s. And it was always just kind of a highlight and a cool, like, they didn't roll him out very often, but when he did, it was just really cool. And I've never forgotten him. So every time I see this guy, I'm just like, Chuck Burke! So anyway, that's really cool. Even though he's just in one scene, it's great that this guy gets, some acting work here. So I'm done nerding out on that. For Smith, it's more the same, except this time, when Helen goes to her therapy session, she just starts because John has told her that, they've got to take their daughter in for testing. And if she tests her for the same thing that Thomas did, she's as good as dead. And John's not doing anything about it because he's the Reich Marshal now. And so they could have another dead daughter. And this pretty much has Helen hit her breaking point. The only problem is she tells everything to her shrink, who is telling everything that she says to him right back to John. It's kind of like Don Draper when he was listening, having the psychiatrist tell him everything that Betty said to him on Mad Men, except Nazis. And so she's saying all sorts of subversive things to him, and then she kisses him. Now, the stupid part for the therapist is he actually went and told John Smith. That whole scene was one of those typical Rufus Sewell situations where you're just waiting for him to just kill the therapist for just telling him what's going on. Whether it would be for just being pissed that he got kissed by his wife, or to protect his wife, but he does none of this. The whole scene is also very much like Inglourious Bastards, when at the beginning of that movie, when you're just waiting for the Nazi hunter to kill everybody, like the tension you can feel. Except in this scene, he doesn't do anything. He actually does leave the therapist alive. But he confronts her, and he just tells her, look, you're not seeing him again. And that's kind of it here for that, which is a little disappointing, because usually except for that Smith scene, that's it really for them. Now this is where we also get, like more of Jason O'Mara showing up at the Catholic place, and him and Juliana take off. And of course, here's Frank, mopey, like, oh, why are you helping her? And, feeling like, I guess he's worried that she's in love with this guy too, which, at this point, look, all these people are getting passed around like, everybody's banging everybody, so why is Frank so bent out of shape? Did you catch the part where he, like, walks away and does the whole turn around for no reason? But see, Jason O'Mara is what Frank should be. The guy who can take charge and not whine about it. And I am kind of skipping to the end for this just to get to this part, is that they go to get through the enemy lines, and there's of course a problem because Juliana is like one of the most famous faces in the country, whether she realizes it or not. And so they're about to get taken, and the guy that was going to help them cross seems like he's double crossing them, but really he's trying to help them, and he starts shooting his own men. But unfortunately for him, helping Juliana, like a lot of other people, ends up getting him killed. And it was actually nice to see somebody, do something. It gets him killed, but he did make a stand. He made a choice there, realizing that it could get him killed. So you do see that there are people willing to take a chance. But this does leave them, now they get to get the fuck out of Dodge. So he's pissed. Jason O'Mara's wife is like, get in the car. Now they probably should have taken some of the guns with him, but I don't know. Bob. Well, Bob is back, and he gets his shot back. Kido gives it to him for ratting out Ed. But to be fair, they were really fucking up Ed. And I mean Bob. And honestly, I don't know. I mean, Bob's just not the kind of person who would stand up under torture. But he does try to warn Ed by calling Jack, but he doesn't get a hold of Jack. This is where we get Kido showing up in that town, and Kido just being kick-ass. Kido, these bounty hunters try to puff their chests out to him, and he's just giving them the 1,000-yard stare, knowing that I'm going to kill you guys, you make us move, and he just does that again with his voice where everything sounds terrible, like he's going to kill you. Yes, lucky day. Yeah, he was about to kill those guys. Then he fucks up the bartender for good measure, pulls that gun out super fast, and pretends to be a guy that's just looking to sell Ed back the antiques that the Negro bikers stole. So you know that they're watching him. Kido is taking a very keen interest in finding Frank because of the explosion. I kind of feel like there's no way that this could end satisfactorily for Frank unless Kido dies by his hand. But the thing is that I honestly, at this point, barely care that Kido killed Frank's sister, because Frank's just such an uninteresting character that and losing Kido is a good villain almost bums me out. Like, I would rather see Frank get killed again than Kido, even though he's the bad guy. Kido should die for what he did, but I honestly don't really, I kind of want to keep him around because everything he does is fantastic and the actor is so great at it. Now, let's see, what else do we got here? Oh yeah, Nicole and Thelma get caught at a lesbian bar where she has to call, like, she gets out of it. Nicole gets out of it, but Thelma gets dragged away. And so she calls Nazi Don Draper to try to get Thelma out of jail. Now, this is what I would do if I was the writer. Is I would have Nazi Don Draper do what the Nazis do best. And that's rat her the fuck out. Say that Thelma's in jail because Nicole was at a lesbian bar, and just totally ruin her so he can get his career back. That's what they do. They're all a big bunch of rats. So if they did the right kind of writing here, I think Nazi Don Draper should totally rat her out. And not just because I hate the character, but I think it would be more on par with what these people do to each other just to keep power or to take power from each other. Now, I'm trying to think if I'm missing anything before I get to the part that I really want to talk about. And honestly, I don't care because I just want to get to it. So, Tagomi has been hanging out with Takomi, or the names are all very similar. Katomi, I think. And he's doing this like thing with like a bow staff, kind of like a piece of bamboo. And it's called Kasumi, through the mist. It's this move about taking people out. And this is like, as soon as he did that, when he made that noise, that whoop, I was like, there's Shang Tsung. There's the guy, the old Mortal Kombat character that he played in his younger days. And so when him and her are like having that moment and they're having tea and everything, and you see that Himmler's assassin has arrived and he takes out the guard watching Tagomi. Except as soon as he kills that guy, Tagomi, his fucking radar goes up like that. And he knows somebody's there. And he knows somebody's there probably to kill them. At least him. And he gets her up. And he's like quiet. And it's dead silent. And there's no noise. You expect maybe to hear like, he'd kick in the door. But this guy just turns, this giant Nazi fucker comes around the corner to take out Tagomi and kill him for Himmler. And that's when we get to... That is right. This is where Tagomi straight up goes Mortal Kombat on this guy. If I can turn this thing off. And Tagomi totally goes Mortal Kombat on this guy and just fucks him up with the bow staff and then finishes him and hits him right in the fucking throat, I think, with the stick and kills his ass. This big Nazi dude that's supposed to take him out, and Tagomi whoops his ass and kills him, then has the body dumped at the Nazi embassy So they can find this guy's ass sitting there. Himmler's pissed because, oh, how dare they leave his body in the street. And they're saying that they want the oil embargoes lifted or else that's it. You just started a war. You sent somebody to kill the trade minister. He fucking took your goddamn super soldier out, and now it's on. It's on. And see, this is the fight that we shouldn't be rooting for. This is where we should be seeing the Americans fighting. But no, it's the Japanese ready to take on the Nazis. And the Nazis, they're like, we'll crush them. But Smith says, well, you got to remember, they have the bomb. Now, we can maybe, Europe's fine, but they'll blow the fuck up out of American Reich. But Himmler, he don't give a shit. And now it's on. It's on, and that was awesome. I got to tell you, this was probably the best episode of the season. So anyway, that's it. I mean, that's crazy. And Tagomi just kicking ass. So that was just bananas. Incredible. So anyway, that's it. So if you like this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe, all that jazz. We will be back with episodes 9 and 10 tomorrow so we can finish wrapping this up. Also, we've got Walking Dead tomorrow night. We'll be coming on live after the episode. Also, before that, we are doing, I'm going to be reviewing Bad Times at the El Royale. Cannot fucking wait to see that movie. I wish I could have seen it earlier, but that's life. I got a full-time job. So anyway, this is Rob at Smirking Gun Review saying thanks for watching this. Thanks for all the support. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. Bye.